that's got to be the personal decision. But the whole Bethenny thing is actually becoming bigger than Bravo, I think, ever thought it was going to be. Because so many past celebrities, Bravo celebrities, whatever you want to call them, have talked about they have felt so used and abused and in unsafe situations during these shows. And, especially having done one, you're between a rock and a hard place, because if you don't do anything that's interesting, it just goes on longer and longer and longer till you're finally like, fuck it, I need to get out of here. I'm going to make something happen. Or you take yourself out of the unsafe situation. It's like life in that sense. No one is holding a gun to your head to make you stay in an uncomfortable situation. Now, granted, they all say, I'm going to lose my job. True, on some levels. I think because this all plays out so publicly, on one hand, it's a little like, this is so wrong to be playing out publicly. But on the other hand, it's kind of good for people to see if people start to quit and say, I don't need to be in this situation. At least these people don't. They're not, have 6 jobs and scraping by to be able to feed their children.
But if Shannon wants to stay, which I'm just thinking she does, I shouldn't make such assumptions. And then, but if Bravo's like, we recognize a real, actual problem.
Well, they might say she has to go into recovery to keep her job. But they can't say she's fired because she's got a problem. Right. I think you could probably say that she can't stay on the show unless she goes into recovery of some sort. Now, I don't think what people know is there's these paid people called sober buddies, which travel all around with people that can afford them who have a hard time staying sober. They're sent out on tour all the time with musicians, and they're literally there to help keep the person sober, organize meetings for the crew who wants to go, and make it a less stressful, less stigmatized thing to be, meaning sober or in recovery, in these sort of high stress situations. They could easily have a sober buddy in place if the person is trying to maintain their sobriety. But it's supposed to be real life. People drink. People are out in social situations. So you can't wrap the person in cotton.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I couldn't imagine that unless somebody was an inherent danger to themselves or to others in a real way, that you could actually fire someone for being an alcoholic.
Right. And I think legally, but granted, Bravo could just change up the cast. It wasn't the best season of Orange County and just say the two of you are gone and here we go.
Yeah, that could be a massive lawsuit, though.
Yeah.
Except, and I know we're getting into the weeds, every contract has what's called a morality clause, which they could easily invoke because it's about living to a certain standard and projecting a certain image and not doing anything like that.
That's interesting, yes. And this stuff just came out about Bethenny, Bravo did release a statement, like the head of NBC, to say, they talked about alcohol and they talked about the NDAs and like mental health and having psychology. So it's like Bravo has issued this response to Bethenny. When it came to alcohol, they kind of put it on the production companies and said, we're going to require production companies to go to alcohol training, everyone that works there, and to just recognize and like kind of putting it on the production companies.
Yes and no, but all of these huge, remember, these are corporations. Mm-hmm. NBC is not just NBC. NBC is owned by Comcast, which is a publicly traded company. having worked for E, which is part of that giant umbrella, we were required to go to like sexual harassment training program and sensitivity training and things like that, which is a normal requirement. But by tossing it back on the production company, I think they're kind of trying to cover their own tracks, because let's be honest, people like with the talent especially don't mandate that you sit there or they let you skip out or whatever.
Listen, that's how corporations work, right? Like I've worked for a lot of big corporations too. It just, everyone is covering their own ass when just that's how it works from every respect.
Okay, well, other than rehab being the stop on the train after you leave a reality show, the bigger stop on the train is they all end up on Dancing with the Stars. The housewives, the bachelors, the bachelorettes, literally.
The Jersey Shore people.
The Jersey Shore. It is like a best of.
It's a good gig to get.
Yeah. People love it.
And it pays decent, I think.
Yeah, but we've got Mauricio and Ariana this year.
Too. I mean, I guess if you are, she had a year where she was in the press. He had a year when he was in the press.
He's still in the press.
He's still in the press. I guess it does pay to be like a big, they're not taking the B list. Look, I'm sure Kyle was asked first and she said, I'm too busy. I'm too this. The new season is premiering of Beverly Hills. She's going to be doing tons of press. She probably said, what about Mauricio? And they're like, well, his name is right next to yours in the press. Let's do it. It pays to get, they're not even going to the B list of Bravo. Like they're getting the big ticket items of who's in the press.
Yeah, and it turns into positive press for a lot of these people because they get to tell their stories and they do all the little vignettes. But it is very hard work. That show is no joke. My old orthopedist, who has since moved to Florida, used to be the orthopedist on call at Dancing with the Stars. And he is like, it's like dealing with a bunch of athletes. He's like, you have no idea the injuries that go on. It is, you better come in ready to work. It is not, there's no way to fake it.
I've had so many celebrities on my show that have been on Dancing with the Stars, and every single one of them is like, it's literally probably the hardest thing we've ever done. Like, no matter who it is, athlete, actor, singer, they all are just like, it's literally so intense. You have no idea.
It's crazy. Now, let's talk about Kyle and Morgan. What is up with that? Because remember we were all saying first, again, she's her sober buddy. That's why she's around. She's helping her with her sobriety. But it's gone a step further. They're in Europe together.
That's the thing. Like, I've spoken to some housewives off the record. We don't need to mention who it is. And they're just like coming around to being like, we don't, and they, wait. I have something else to say. I know. I always have something else to say. But listen, you guys know I've been having a lot of digestive issues lately. I've shared that with all of you throughout the past few weeks. I share a lot with you guys. But you know what I didn't know? I didn't know that these digestive issues were caused by potential toxins that are in these quote unquote healthy foods. I thought I was eating right. Oh my gosh. I have learned so much. We've been hearing about, these healthy foods for years, right? Well, this potential toxin causes digestive issues, according to Dr. Gundry. He's a world's renowned cardiologist. And the harmful condition is affecting millions of people nationwide. It was affecting me. Now, here's the thing. There's so many warning signs that I now saw that I didn't realize. Weight gain, hello. That's all I talk about with you guys. Fatigue, digestive discomfort, stiff joints. I've even had skin problems. And, listen, I'm not a spring chicken. So I just personally thought that all these things were happening because I was getting older. Well, Dr. Gundry explains that these side effects are often mistaken for normal signs of aging. Now I know. So listen, I can assure you that the damage is probably caused by these healthy foods, and it's far from normal. The good news is you can easily help fix the problem from your own home. It's very simple. You just have to know which foods are actually healthy and which contain this hidden potential toxin. It's that simple. So you can find this for yourself at gutcleanseprotocol.com/velvet. That's gutcleanseprotocol.com/velvet. You can just click on the link in the description below this video. Because after years of research, Dr. Gundry has decided to release an informative video to the public free. It's free and uninterrupted. You guys have to watch this, showcasing exactly which foods you need to avoid. Go to the video, gutcleanseprotocol.com/velvet. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I know this is reality TV, but this really, really has changed my life. Click on the link below. Bye.